Women Podcast, a dope podcast to bring light to reality from real life people sharing real life stories with a host of women having real life talk, the good and the bad, with no judgment. Uncommon Women's Loyalty is here to support those that need a safe space to speak their truth and rawness to the world. Tune in, relax, take notes, and let's vibe. Here are your hosts, Uncommon Women.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I am super excited by the dynamic woman that we are going to be interviewing today. We have Dejunae Springfield. She's an entrepreneur and a community leader with over a decade of experience in the business and public services. Born and raised in Wilmington, Delaware, raised to value service and innovation, she developed an entrepreneur spirit early on. Dejunae has been recognized on several honors, included the 2014 Delaware Black Achiever Award, and is a frequent speaker at conferences and workshops. She's actually was one of our VIP speakers for the Self-Love Seminar, so I'm super excited to have her on the platform today to share her story, drawing on her expertise from roles at Delta Densa and Highmark BCB. She now brings her knowledge and benefit and wellness to the city of Delaware. And now we are really going to be doing things not only in Delaware, but worldwide. So thank you, Dejunae, so much for being on Uncommon Women today. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be on tonight. I'm so excited.
So how has your day been so far? I know it's on our end, it's Monday. And Mondays can be a little bit challenging, but
Mondays
by
are
the grace of God, we make it work, right?
Mondays are challenging in corporate America. I was running around today like, oh, where am I?
But we made it though. We made it.
Yes.
So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Before we get into your story and your journey of how you're able to be this dynamic entrepreneur these days, can you tell us a little bit about how your life was growing up and how you felt in childhood shaped you as being a happiness person as an adult?
Yes. So my childhood was very, very interesting. So I was the only child. I don't know if that made me or break or broke me. But I came from a family that were like huggers and everybody was loving. I lived in a household, of course, with my mom, but my grandparents. So love was all around. So that shaped, and we were Christian based. So, we went to
Okay.
church, like we were in church. Like my grandma was no joke.
She wasn't playing.
So I kind of discovered who I was through church. So growing up, that kind of shaped me because one of the things that I used to tell people was a bad thing was growing up, um, I never knew about an enemy. Like I never knew people could not like Dejunae. I never knew um backbiting and betrayal and all the things that we go through in our adulthood because growing up, my community was loving. So we were family oriented. Everybody that was around, we were very just loving, huggers, laughers, jokesters. We didn't take anything serious. So I say on the flip side, it kind of made me like dumb to the real world. But on the good side is when I did go through my trials, I was able to forgive quickly. I was able to love through processes. I was able to still show up. Because that's all that I knew was showing up, being your best self, whether you were broken or you were not. You showed up, you put a smile on your face, and you went through. So when I got older, I kind of realized, oh, this is what it was. So let me show up in the midst of adversity, in the midst of things going haywire.
Right.
Show up, be happy because you don't know who needs you. Church based, this is not your process. This is not your story. So that's kind of what shaped me into the person that I am now.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever feel growing up that you wanted siblings or question your parents in regards to why did they only have me? Like, I'm bored, I want my friends, I want to be with somebody, I want to be able to have that relationship that a bigger sister or a younger sister. Did you ever have those type of thoughts growing up?
You know what? I didn't.
Okay.
Because I had godparents. My godparents had children. So it was three of them. They were older. So they were my siblings.
They was your
You
siblings.
even if
Okay.
you talk to them now, they're like Nene is our sister. Like I've always been included. Their children, I'm auntie. But then I had a whole lot of cousins. So even though I was an only child, again, I lived with my grandma. So that was the house where everybody came. When I went to church, back in the day, everybody was auntie, uncle, cousins. I got some god sisters that I got from church from back in the day that,
Hmm.
at 36, they're still my family. So
Right.
no, I'm kind of glad I didn't have to share a bid or bump or anything like that. Kind of glad. So no, I didn't miss having, I didn't miss it.
So you low
Mm-mm.
key had a good life. Yeah.
Low key, yeah. I'm kind of glad. Oh my goodness, I used to say all the time, if there was another like blood Dejunae out there, like that would be crazy. Like I know that would put my mom, like I think the funny part is like either I was a good child and she didn't want to do it again, or I
Uh-huh.
was just really over the top and she was like, I'm done,
I'm
God.
done.
Like, you know what, God, this is it. Like, done.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about, let's take it back and fast forward a little bit from your childhood. What experience did you go through being in the real world and, I don't want to say dumb, but maybe just oblivious of other people and how people move and navigate. What experience did you go through growing up when you came to the other side of just really knowing how to try to navigate through the world?
Yeah, so I would say like my first real experience was dating. Believe it
Okay.
or not. Dating, I always was either too much for whoever they were taking me home, like, oh, this is too much. Like she does too much, or the bougie word, which I hate completely.
Hmm.
But that was when I started figuring out, like, oh girl, you're different. And I feel like that was the seasons where I felt my misunderstood so much under where people didn't understand me.
Right.
Meaning
Okay.
it was like that's when people started defining who I was. Like, oh my gosh, she's too much, or she's this, or she's that. And I would be like, hello, I'm here. Like, and that is not me. That is not my heart. That is not my intentions. That is not my motives. So I believe those moments are really what defined who I was because I started adapting to what I heard.
Mm,
So people would say she's too much. So literally, I would start dumbing down my personality, dumbing
wow.
down me showing up because it was like, okay, they're saying she's too much. She talks too much. So let me be quiet in these spaces, or let me be, let me not stand out. People used to say, "Oh my God, you dress really, really good to be a big girl," or I like bright colors. So I started, really conforming myself
Mm,
to the opinions of others, realizing that they just had never expanded their box. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I'm learning now that like I spent all those years trying to make people accept me, and now that I accept me, it's like it was something wrong with you, not me.
Right.
So I would definitely say when I started dating, that is when I started realizing like, whoa, like what is this? What is happening here? What is going on?
And that's where a lot of people can felt have a lot of failure on yourself because you're trying to be a people pleaser and please everyone
Mhm.
else, and everybody's personality is different, so we're
Very much
never
so.
going to be able to please everybody,
Mhm.
and I'm glad that you were able to have an awakening to realize, it's not you, it's me. It's okay if you don't like me. I'm still gonna wear these flashy
Okay.
outfits. I'm still going, I'm big and I'm looking good and I'm doing what I do the best.
Period.
So I I love that you were able to, have that kind of ability to be like, you know what, I don't have to please everybody else. Do you
Hmm.
believe that there was a part in your life where you felt like you was empty inside from dating or, just being in the real world and not really fully knowing who you were until you stepped into that path?
Yes. So I dated, then I got married.
Okay.
And I got married at a very young age with what I thought was love, right?
Oh, okay.
And I spent those years proving, waking up,
Mm,
okay, I gotta be this because they think I'm that. They say this, or they're gonna talk about me. And that was a dark place for me. I praise God all the time that I made it out. Not to say anything bad about them, because I believe that they're, wonderful people and they're right.
Right.
But I spent a lot of years questioning who I was.
Mm,
Being there. Even the background of families, it was, well, this is what I'm used to. And then I'm coming into a world where it's like everything that I did was either wrong or, looked frowned upon. Even how we served God, right?
right.
So I feel like it was those years. Then, and through that marriage, I lost a baby. So that's
Oh, I'm
completely
sorry.
darkness right there. That is,
Right.
okay, God, I waited. I did what you said. I got, pregnant in my marriage, and then I lose a baby.
Took it away. Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is this? Is this really me? You know what I'm saying? Is there something really wrong with Dejunae? Is there something that I'm hiding? Is there something that I'm not facing? Why am I in this dark place? And I was in a dark, dark, dark place with that. Then I walked away from the marriage, right? Walked away from the marriage. There was a lot of things going on the inside, and I had to leave. I had to choose. I got to a place, and I was going to stay. I had to choose whether it was going to be me, my feelings, or was I going to stay to appease somebody and people that
Right.
didn't even live in the house. When I walked away is when I kind of hit the light, like the light kind of hit, like, oh, like, okay, I love God, and if he has a destined for me that is greatness, he wouldn't put me in a situation where I'm
Right.
everything but
Mm-hmm.
great. And it took me a long time to get there. Like, no, girl, you are great. You are this. You are smart. You're not dumb. You can carry a baby. You can have conversation. You can laugh and it not be out of place. You can be loud. This is who you are. This is, and it took a lot of talking to myself, a lot of therapy, a lot of trusting God that he knows, that the process was
Right.
a long 6 years. But that is 6 years that I get to tell somebody else, like, you can leave. You are better than this. If you're in a situation and you're not at peace, or you're not happy, or you don't feel fulfilled, or your dreams and things are not coming to pass, then that is not the place for you.
Right.
So I had to go through that for someone, but I'm grateful for that season. Grateful.
Okay. And it shaped you to who you are now, obviously,
Hmm.
as well.
That is
Did you
correct.
have a time, was there ever a point in time where you felt resentment with God for, not being able to carry and feeling like I did everything right? I got married, the right way. Like, I don't want to say by the book, but the relationship with God that
Hmm.
we have, I did
Hmm.
everything protocol, and you still took this away from me. Was there any part of you that felt like you had resentment towards him?
Oh yeah, I honestly thought I was gonna be like a Muslim. I don't share that part often because people would never believe that. But I
Uh-huh.
honestly felt like I was done. I
Yeah.
was at a place where I was showing. I was about 32 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I still had
Oh
to go through
wow, I'm
labor.
so sorry.
So I still had to push. I still had to, as they say, when I was being discharged, I was rolled out with other mothers that was going
Mm-hmm.
out with their babies, and I had a bear.
Mm-hmm.
So I resented God for a long time. It literally was a friend of mine. I never forget, she called me, and by this time I had been down for like a month.
Wow.
And my worldly friend, I love her to death. She knows exactly who she is when she watches this. And she basically was like, B, get up. Like, I need you. Like, I'm going through. And you the person I call, and I
And
can't
I
get
need
through
you up
because
so
you
that you
there. Like,
can
I
help
need you
me,
to get
right?
back to who you are. Like, and as much as we laugh about that, that is kind of what helped me,
Mm,
because it was like, okay, let me step outside. Let me step
right,
into the light, because I was so angry with God. Like, okay, I got a fail in marriage. Who am I? Literally, for real. Because this was around the time I was beginning to answer the call. So it was like, who are you right now? what
right,
what is this
right,
middle stage nobody talks about? What is this process?
right.
In church we make the process like, well, everybody's gonna go through it, and God is gonna meet you at the end,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what happens when you're in the process and you don't see it in,
Come on.
or you don't feel like you can get out? So I was like, done. Like, you know what, God, you want me to say yes? I said yes. in the
I did
physical.
what I did, but why this? You know what I'm saying?
I ain't seen no favor on this marriage. I ain't seen no blessings. I ain't seen
Mhm.
no he that findeth a good wife findeth a good thing and
Mhm.
obtains favor. Where's the favor? Where's this? Like there was just trial and drama, chaos back to back. But it literally was a wake up. It was like a shaking. Like, okay,
Mm.
if I'm not gonna follow Christ, I need to follow something.
Right. Mm.
Um, and that following something was like, but who are you? What are you following? I can't follow anything and I don't know who I am.
Right.
So it was those moments of putting pieces back together, replaying stuff, crying a lot, screaming a lot, therapy that was like, okay, you know what? There is a God. Because right after I lost the baby, I filed for divorce right after that. And that was a very
Wow.
nasty situation that was peaceful. The exit was peaceful for me.
Mhm.
So it was like, okay, there is a God, there is protection, things was lining up. So I definitely believe my resentment towards God was something that was needed. I thought I was gonna be Muslim right now. You wouldn't have been able to see me right here,
Right.
but
Mhm.
I would have been covered up. But thanks be unto God who literally was a keeper in that time. So it's normal. Resentment is normal. Second guessing something that you believe. I think people again, I feel like the Christian faith, we don't share those moments of the nasty process, the
Right.
mess.
Mhm.
I remember my former pastor had said to me during that time, um, flowers grow in dirt. So basically, all things are produced in messy situations.
Right. That's
Dirt is
true.
nasty, mud is nasty.
Diamonds, flower. Yep.
And look what happened. So I
Yes.
feel like that is something I want to bring awareness of. Is like your process. There is a process, but your perspective, your mental, your mind, your alignment, your posture in the process determines how long you'll be in it. You can stay in the process real long and you'll really be hating God because it's like, okay, now I don't see you. I done lost everything. My food stamps is getting cut off, as the people are saying.
Let's
You know,
go.
my job is acting up. I done lost this. My car is going. But if you just stay in alignment, stay what the Bible say, it says it's okay to be angry, but sin not. And I
Yeah.
feel like the sin is the resentment towards God. I have now not trusted you. I believe that something else is better for me than you. And I feel like that is the sin, and you can't go any further in it. So I think it's a normal feeling. But I think that there has to be a way to process so that you don't go through that.
Right. Right. I love that. I love that.
Hmm.
Can you help the women that's listening in to what steps they can take to recognize that they're living in their fake happiness, whether it's in relationships, whether they're married or just out here just going with the wind, and how and you know what that means when I say going with the wind,
Hmm.
but how they can start being honest with themselves, what steps that they can take, or what steps did you take possibly?
I will always say I'll always channel it back to prayer.
Okay,
I feel like the more you pray, the more you pray to God, the more He begins to reveal to you who you are. Because prayer is our most vulnerable state. You're really giving up your will, not asking nothing but in praise. You can't praise something and you're not really grateful because you don't really know what you're grateful for.
right,
So I would definitely, if I was to say anything to a woman that is just fake happiness, um, not understanding where she is in life, what is going on, I would first ask her to examine. You have to be honest with yourself. Do you know that you're in a fake happiness stage? Because if you're so gone that you don't realize it, it's going to take you a while to come back. But do you
hmm,
feel it? What do you feel when you lay your head down at night? Do you feel accomplished or do you feel worn out and tired because you put on a facade for so long all day? Once you begin to realize that you're in that fake happiness, start figuring out what makes you happy. If you're in a fake happiness because you're pleasing people and pleasing your coworkers and pleasing your neighbors and you got to keep up with the Jones, and that is not really who you are or what you like, figure that out first. What do you like? And then you'll get to
right,
the place where it's like, if I'm not happy, I'm not going. If I'm not happy, I'm not spending money on it. If it doesn't bring me joy, I'm not involved.
right,
When you're faking, you spend more money because it's like, okay, so I got to keep up with the Jones. I got to go to dinner here. I got to show this. But when you're genuinely happy, it don't take much to please you. So I would definitely ask them first, like, What do you like? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Have you figured your purpose out? Not your mom's purpose, not what the job wants you to be if you get promoted, not your dream. Who are you in this moment? And that's hard. It will take a lot of journaling. Get some pen and get some paper and start figuring out what's in your mind. Write down what are your thoughts when you do something, when you smile. Do you have a regret for smiling? Are you smiling and you're praying that somebody sees you at that moment? If these are what you're fitting into, I would start doing some soul searching.
Yes.
Okay, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling empty. I'm pouring out. When people ask me, I'm a giver, but nobody's giving to me. Ding ding, that's a red sign. Are you around the right people? Because I believe this is what I honestly believe this. I learned this in my hardest state. You attract who you are.
Hello.
So if I am broken inside, but
That's
I'm
all.
acting like I'm happy and everybody around me is broken, I need to check myself. Wait, because my happiness can't be attracting this brokenness. It
There we
can't be
go.
attracting people in chaos. It can't be attracting poverty, or it can't be if this is who I am. So that was one of the things that I knew. Okay, wait, why is everybody I'm coming in contact with got issues? Why is everybody lying? Why is everybody this? Why is that? Well, there was pieces in me that wasn't honest. There was pieces in me that I was lying and faking and trying to please people. So I would definitely tell them to just sit for a moment, sit in your thoughts, let it hurt. Who are you really? Not the person you step out to, but really sit there, let the tears roll, feel it, because that is the first step to you feeling the pain, so that you'll know this is something I don't want. I don't want to not be happy. I don't want to fake, because what you're doing is you're pleasing other people and you're going lacking. So if I had to tell anyone that is faking in this season, let them know, for one, you're not the only one. And a lot of times that is why we're in situations where we are faking happiness, where we are going along with the crowd, because we feel like we are the only one going through what we're going through. We are the only ones feeling empty. We are the only ones that maybe feel like we look funny, or we need to diet, or we need to this, or we need to that. Baby, you're not the only one. So when you start to realize that, there is someone else coming beside me, or there is a community, if I'm honest, you can only attract what you are. If you're at an
Right.
honest state, you're going to surround yourself with people who are at the same state with you, that want to be honest and that want to build and want to be right. So I would definitely say sit with yourself. And then you can't forget who we ask God, who am I? Show
Right.
me who I am in your word. I may be a newcomer. I may be, point me in the direction. Even if you don't go to church, God, let your prayers be, God, allow me to walk into that angel today. God, I'm looking for answers. Give me a sign. Give me an answer that you are near. Allow somebody, you that'll be right the day you in the clothing store and somebody say, you are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I like something about you. Ask God for those signs, because he will give you that, especially if your heart is sincere to change. If you want to keep faking and you want to keep walking around broken and you want to keep, because the victim gets the attention, and if you want that, you'll never change. But if your heart is really longing for change, longing for the difference, he will answer you. He will make you better, make you whole. He want us whole. So I would definitely ask him, well, who am I? What is my purpose? Who do you see me as? What did you create? Let's start there. Lord God, make me to be, and I say that all the time when I pray every morning. God, make me to be the woman you created. Not
Yeah.
who I created, not who I want this world to be. No, God, make me who you created me to be. If that means that if I gotta forgive every day the people that hurt me, God, allow me to be that characteristic of who you are.
Yes.
So I would definitely encourage anybody that is faking happiness, or not where they want to be mentally, or feel like they're at the end of the road empty. Well, if you're empty, you have to fill yourself up with something. And fill yourself up with, even if you're not going to go to the Bible. I'm a believer. Everybody is not believing in God right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Find you a good podcast. A good podcast. It's a lot of black women podcasts out there. Mental health.
Mm-hmm.
How do you build yourself? How do you build your credit? How do you do Work on the holistic you so that you can be able to pour out into someone else. So that's what I would
Mm,
say.
I love that. I love that. I think a lot of people, or some people, not a lot, but some people get tied into the people pleasing and they lose their self, and then they're trying to navigate on how to get back into loving their self. And I believe that when your whole you spoke about the people that the company that you keep, that is very important because that can either make your situation worse or help you grow. I believe that anything outside of you should add value. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's not adding value and it's taken away, you got to do some self-reflection on yourself to be like, okay, where am I at? This ain't working.
I
And I love how
agree.
you said the wholeness has to be there because when it's not there, you're like a bamboo tree that could be swayed anywhere, you know. The wholeness has to be there for you to be able to realize that, you know, this person or these people that are around me are adding value. They're empowering me. They're
Mhm.
giving me something that is adding to my wholeness versus taking it away. So I love that analogy that you spoke on. That was dope. You also said something about journaling, which is really good as well. I definitely believe that's a self-reflection of therapy. Did you have you ever went in a stage where you were journaling, and if so, how can journaling help women and teens begin identifying the root of their own pain?
So I did journal, and my journal turned into my first book called Free
Okay,
Her.
let's go.
So and you can get that. You can guys can inbox me, or you can go on the www.imdejunae.com and order it. But my journaling did not know it was going to be something that would lead me to a devotional. But I literally was journaling every day how I felt going through the process. There were some days, I know there's one day I talk about emptying my laundry, right? And I use the analogy of I was in a dark place and my laundry was overflowing, right? And it was like, if this is my life, that means I need to clean my clothes. I need
Come
to
on.
clean up. So I literally wrote that day talking about empty laundry. Today is the day that you get up and you empty your laundry, get the clothes off the floor. And that is literally your life. You have to take a hold of it. Empty your basket, empty your temple out today. Pour out anything that's junk, anything that does not belong in there today. Get that stuff out of your emotions. Clean up around you. What is around you that is making your mind in chaos? What are you seeing that has you not being able to see your promise or see past where you are? Get your laundry, clean your laundry. And I know with me, whenever I do laundry, it's like a cleanup day for me because it's like, okay, let me fold these clothes. They smell good. Let me go ahead and extra deep clean. Let me get these baseboards. Let me vacuum because not one area you want clean. You want
The
everything
whole thing.
holistically clean.
Right. Mhm.
So I definitely say I'm journal everything. I feel like when you're writing what's in your mind, that is at your most authentic self that you are. You can't fake what you think. You can't. Your mind is always going to tell you the truth. Yeah,
Right.
girl. You know you can't get in them jeans.
Yes.
you
The
know you
power
ain't
of the
supposed to.
enemy in the mind. Come on.
Okay, you know you ain't supposed to be wearing that to church today.
Mhm.
So I feel like journaling always your journal may not turn into a devotional like mine did. But journaling will definitely help you even say stuff that maybe it don't sound right in I know me, sometimes I talk and I be like, did I mean that? But if I write down everything that I feel, even if it doesn't look right on paper, I got it out my mind.
Yes.
So I would definitely encourage you to journal. And it don't gotta be perfect. It don't gotta be in complete sentences. Write exactly what you feel. If you feel like your brain is at a run-on sentence and there's
Say
no
it. Just let
period,
it out.
let
Hmm.
it fill that page and put a period when you're done.
Okay.
Get it out. And that to some people that may be your only trusted. I learned in my through going through my divorce, that is when I learned people and trusting people
Mm.
at its all time. The people that you think you can say, pour your heart out, and you know that you'll never hear it again. I can remember when he first moved out, I had like a girls' night. You know, the girls from the church wanted to come over, and
Hmm.
I was pouring out. He did this, he did that, da da da. But lo and behold, Tuesday morning, the man of God called me like, "Oh, you had a girls' night and you said this, you said that." And after that, that thing scarred me because it was like, well, who can I talk to?
Wow.
And believe it or not, that is the reason why I went through the divorce by myself. My mom did not know about my divorce until I packed my clothes up and I came back because I was going to her house.
Wow.
So, that is a trusted thing. So if I had a journal, but if I would have, just stuck to that, now I know I got a journal, but I also have more trusted people around, have a
Yeah.
good circle. But then during that process, you can't trust everybody with your blood. You can't trust everybody with your dirt. You can't trust
Right.
everybody with your dirty water. You can't trust everybody with the things that you may go to hell for. Because there are some things we did do. There are
That's
some
true.
things our minds did think. There are some murders we did commit in our minds. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That on paper people can't handle that. So I would definitely suggest that you get a pen, get a paper. Dollar store got them for $1. Start the writing, and that may be your first step to getting healing. Maybe seeing your problems on paper will be like, wow, I'm going through that. That's not cute. That's not good. So I definitely think that journaling will help.
Yeah, and I believe that, some people live in this false reality of being stuck and not knowing how to get unstuck,
Hmm.
from so much past and their unforgiveness, um and just, trials and tribulations that people go through. Can you explain how you were able to just like truly move forward and, you know, forgive the things that you've been through in your past, and how other women can navigate when they're struggling with unforgiveness?
This is so funny. In that same journal, I have a chapter called "You Can't Hate What You Pray For."
Ooh.
And I remember exactly that day, I was struggling. Like, I hated my ex-husband and his family at that moment because,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Trials, yeah.
and things happen.
Right.
And I remember not wanting to hate them. And I challenged myself every day. I would say a little prayer. Like at the end, it started out being smart, like, and God bless them. Like, help them, keep
Get it
them,
out.
God.
Stop praying.
I hope you give them the desires of their heart. Like, that's how it started. But as the days went, I really started to intercede for them. I started to feel
Mm,
them. I started to pick up. I started to pray in depth. The more I started to pray, the softer my heart got.
I love that.
So the more I started to pray, then when things would start happening, because when I moved back home, I was hearing a lot of stuff. I wasn't hating them because I've already been interceding for them. So it was
Come
like,
on.
oh, okay, well, this is something else to add to my prayer list. This is something else to pray for. So for me to help them with unforgiveness, sometimes it won't come in a conversation. Sometimes because forgiveness is really for you.
Yes.
Apologies and things are really for you. They moved on. I can promise you, they sleeping good at
They
night.
sleeping good at night,
They
okay?
eating good. Where we sitting there not eating, turning down meals on the phone with our girlfriends crying. I just
Mhm.
can't believe that happened. How did that happen? And you doing that for weeks, baby? They done moved on. They just
Right.
sleeping
Mhm.
good, getting hours, smiling, laughing. You don't want to be the reason why
Right.
you don't sleep. So I would definitely challenge you to start praying, and it don't got to be deep. Again, my prayers start. I felt like they started out fake. Like I would literally at the end be like, "And God touched them," like whatever. And then the more I started doing that, the more it was like, oh, well, I feel this. Let me pray this today. Let me do this today. And I always pray, God, whatever promises over their life, God, you do it. You perform it.
Right.
You allow it to come to fruition, God. You don't allow me or not our situation to stop what you have, the overflow. God, touch their emotions. Heal
Yeah.
them. They hurt me because of there are places in them that's not healed. Heal them. Heal the root of the situation, God. You know what I went through, what I voiced, and what I didn't. God, you touch that area, touch the area we both want to speak about. And the more I started to pray, the deeper my prayers got for them. And that is where forgiveness came.
That's so deep. I love that. I
Mhm.
love that. It's kind of like you faked it until you made it,
Until
until
I
it
made
came
it.
to reality.
So
I
he was
love
like,
it.
all
I
right,
love it.
girl. Now let me place this burden on you. All right, you made it. Let me place this burden and see if you're gonna pray that thing up off of you.
Yes, 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 yes. So looking at, your life now and everything that you've been through, how has the journey been?
Now I can say beautiful.
Okay.
Now I'm reaping the journey now. Um, if you would have asked me this when I was in the middle of it, I would have been like, it's dirty. Why? Why, Lord? Why me? Um, but now I can say, God, I thank you. I thank you. It was
Mm,
me. I find myself often just thanking God, like I've I've experienced you in this journey be a way maker. I experienced you be a provider. I experienced you being, a forgiver of me. Because again, I
right,
wasn't perfect. Divorces don't happen one-sided all the time. There was
right.
some things that I carried in, so God, I'm watching you be a provider. I'm watching you be a forgiver. I'm watching you be a protector. I'm watching you be a healer. You healed me. You not only healed
Mm,
my body physically, but you healed my emotions. You healed my heart. You're allowing me to love again. God, I thank you for who you sent me again.
come
God, I
on.
thank you for this. Your promises are yes. When I was going through a divorce, they told me, oh, God is going to send you a man that's going to love you. And I was like, yeah, did that already. Don't want that. And he did just that. Sent me who I needed when I needed it at the right time. God, so God, I thank you. So I would say now this journey is beautiful. I have no complaints about it. I'm glad he chose me. And that sounds really weird to say, and I cannot believe that I'm saying that. But
Come
I'm
on.
glad. I'm glad I was chosen. Believe it or not, the baby and the divorces gave me a purpose. Before that, I
Mm.
didn't have no website. I didn't have no books. I didn't have no brand. I literally just worked. I knew I was called to ministry, but that
You didn't
that
know how you
hard
was going to
season,
get there.
I knew I was called, but called to what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that hard time gave me a purpose. It gave me identity. So I'm grateful. It's beautiful now. Every day is not perfect. One thing about healing, I tell people, is you have to work your healing every day. Like,
Yes.
yes, you're healed, but at anything can be triggered. So you have to know in you what is coming, what may trigger me. How do I handle these? What are some results that I have to get me through this moment? So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for healing. I'm grateful for the journey. It's just beginning. I believe that now I'm in a season that all the things that was promised, everything that was prophesied is coming to pass.
Come
But I
on.
thank him for I thank him for the mess. I do. I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
I think a lot of people have this belief that healing is just something that happens overnight, or it's just something that happens one day, but it's actually a continuing thing that you have to do within yourself,
Mhm.
just as though we grow and go through things every day. Healing is a healing journey, and it's a consistent thing that you have to do, just like as you're brushing your teeth and washing up and things like that. You don't eat once a day and think you good, right? So I feel like your healing journey is the same thing. Do you agree?
I agree. Let me tell you this quick. This story is so crazy.
Go
And
ahead,
as
go
I'm
ahead.
sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, that is crazy. So like maybe last year, like right before the
Okay.
summer, I sprained my ankle really bad, right?
Okay.
Broke something in the ankle.
Oh,
Doctor
girl.
had me in the boot. Of course, convocation was coming up. So I'm like, what I'm not about to do is be in the boot during convocation. If I gotta limp around, put this heel on, I'm not gonna be in the boot.
No,
So
you
long story short, I didn't. I wore it when I was home. When I went out, I was in my regular stuff. And like maybe well, this is about to be good. I promise it's about to bless you. Just hold on to the story, y'all. Just hold on. It's coming. So like maybe after doing that for a while, my body got used to what I was doing, so the pain started going away, right?
mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, like maybe October, November 2024,
Okay.
I got this excruciating pain. It felt worse than the day
The
that
fracture.
I fractured it. So I go to the doctor and I'm limping in there because now I'm scared. Like, now I did not follow no instructions. I wore this boot. Lord, what is happening? So I'm sitting there and she took an x-ray and she comes out and she says, the pain is actually a result that is healing. Your foot looks good. So I said,
Mm.
oh, okay, it looks
You ain't
good.
telling everything though, did you?
Did not know that the pain was a result of healing, right?
Okay.
But as I'm sitting here and we're talking, maybe like 3 weeks ago, I started feeling that it's starting to hurt a little bit. But
Uh-huh.
as I'm sitting here and we're talking about healing is a everyday thing, it just shows me like it goes in spurts. I went through a season that was a whole 10 months. I ain't feel nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's coming back, which means that I have to go back to the routine and do things that
Yes.
had me right at the first time. So I feel like that helps me because that's like healing.
Yes.
You're healed. You know the steps that it takes you to get you fine,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now you know what wholeness feels like. You know what pain feels like, and you know what you don't want to feel. So now you have to go back and brush up. Okay, so
Right.
now I know I got that boot. I'm gonna be in that boot tomorrow. I'm gonna be
Uh-huh.
honest. I'm gonna be in that boot tomorrow because my leg is my leg is hurting. But it lets me know, like, okay, so you know the steps now. Then that's like healing.
Yes.
Okay, I'm feeling this here. I haven't felt this in a long time. I know I've came from this place. Let me go back to that place where that pain was going. What did I do to get me out of that pain? What did I release in that time? What have I encountered that made me feel this again? I mean, that's healing. It's a journey. You'll never be completely, you'll be completely healed, but you'll never be completely healed where you won't go through nothing else.
There we go.
Because this healing to open the door. Okay, you healed here, so let me throw something else at
Right.
you. And now with something else you have to get through. Now there's a new process. Now there's a new level. Now there's a new language. Now there are new things that you have to accomplish. So I feel like the healing journey is always resulting. It's always going in a cycle, but in a good cycle. Long as you don't resort back to where you came
Where
from.
you was, right.
Mhm.
Thank you, Holy Spirit. That was good. That was a good story, girl.
Listen, I just thought about it as I'm sitting here and this ankle is hurting, and I'm like,
I love that. I love that. So
God is good.
you have any children now or
I do not have any children now, and that clock is ticking because I'm 36 now.
well, you know, we ain't on our time, we on God's time. You know how that is.
Listen, but I am grateful. I was given another chance at love.
Okay, okay.
So and God's timing, I'll be married again, and
Yes.
I hope he's ready that right after we get married, we gotta try for some kids because baby is not about to be 50 at the daycare.
I mean,
So
people do it. People do it. At 50 though.
I will not be 50 going to get a 3-year-old. I'm just not.
Not you needing help getting out the car to go get the baby.
Okay. Now I gotta help you open the door for me because I need help.
I love that. Okay. Love has striked again. I'm super
Yes,
excited to
God is so good. He is
hear
so
about the
good.
journey that you have going on with that. So before we close out and go into some final questions, can you tell us what you're doing for the community, what you got going on? I know we can find your books on your website at I am
Mhm.
Dejunae. What you got going on in Delaware? What's going on? What you got going on?
So, but I this is weird that this is live, not live. When you guys see this, you'll be able to purchase my children's book called Arya's Big Change, which will be coming soon. I literally took my journey. So I started the Layla Nicole Foundation, which was the name of my daughter that I lost. So I have three parts of that. I have the homeless portion,
Mm,
which that is my heart. That is the giving back. It's Deej House, which because my heart was affected.
mm-hmm.
We have the hygiene portion, which is I help little girls with their hygiene. I'm starting them young. I feel like if you invest in yourself, knowing your mental, I feel like when you're so invested in yourself, you won't settle.
Come
You
on.
won't lose your value because you're like, oh, I'm too good for this. I've come too far from this. I know my body. I know when my body is not right. I know when things are not, things are not regulating right. I know when things are because I'm invested in me. I also believe that builds character. So I do have the peekaboo boxes, and now I just have the peekabro, where they are boxes that you can order. It comes with all the instructions,
Oh, okay.
on walking your child through their cycles, hygiene. It comes with things that they need during the day, such as wipes, toothbrushes. And our little girls really need help. They really need examples.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that is theirs. Aria's Big Change is a book that is just highlighting a third grader coming on her menstrual, thinking that something is wrong, and just having a conversation with her mom, and being assuring her that this is a part of life, a part of her journey, and her feeling good about what she's going through.
Right.
So I believe that book will be a blessing, especially to us little brown girls. Um, so that is about it. I'm getting ready for Do More 24, which is in March, which is a big nonprofit day
Okay, come
for
on.
Delaware. So I'll be sending you guys that. But that's about it.
That ain't just about it. You got a whole bunch going on. I love it.
And hopefully I'll be married, and hopefully I'll have a kid.
When you get married, and then you have your girl, she'll be able to go through the process as well. We gonna
Yes.
manifest that.
Yes.
Something popped up in my head when you were talking about the menstrual and things like that. I actually seen a vision of you going to the schools and teaching them
Wow.
the process of being a young girl and going through puberty, and
Yes.
just validating who they are and still loving themselves through the process, and
Mm-hmm.
talking to somebody else besides the parents, because it's harder for you to build that relationship with the parents. So I seen you being that vessel into the schools and giving them the protocol, versus the normal things that we have for sex education for kids. And I speak
Yes.
that over you. I speak that over you. I speak that over for the journeys to come. And congratulations to the book that's coming
Thank
out.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I receive it. I receive it. Lord knows that is my vision, my plan. So I do receive it.
Amen. Amen. So before we close out, there is one question that we do ask all of our viewers, and that is, what makes you uncommon?
I think me being me, the stories and the life journey, the trials that I had, no one else would be able to go through what I went through. What I went through was not common. So what makes me uncommon is that I'm different, and I
Okay.
embrace that I'm different.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, thank you so much, Dejunae, for coming on, sharing your truth, sharing your story, dropping the gems in regards to how people can redefine who they are, love their self, and let go of the people pleasing and get back to who they are, which is truly important in these days and age, especially with everything that's going on in the world. And we want you guys to be aligned, be aligned
Yes,
with yourself first before being aligned with anything else.
I
And
agree.
through the grace of God, he will work with you. He will
Yes,
walk
he will.
walk through it with you. And there's always some type of light at the end of any journey that you're going through. Whether you see it now, rather you don't see the vision, there will always be some light at the journey of it. So I appreciate you coming on, sharing your wisdom, talking about your
Thank
story.
you.
Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember that we do have the self-love seminar coming up next month. We have some amazing speakers that's going to be speaking. Dejunae was a VIP speaker last year, so she
Yes, I
already knows all
was.
about it. Be sure to purchase your tickets on I Love Myself 2025.eventbrite.com. We're going to be in Reading, PA, having some speakers. We have a spoken word throughout the seminar, and then the Butter Pecan Cafe is going to be cooking. So grab your tickets. We do have student purchase tickets at a discounted rate, only for $10. We want everybody to come and get fulfilled with empowerment, love, unity, and just be able to find who they are within their self, through these speakers telling their testimonies in regards to what they do and how they're able to show up every day loving their self as well. So be sure to purchase your tickets. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, stay uncommon.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you've been shacking up with us for a while and haven't subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? Please like and subscribe to Uncommon Woman so you won't miss another episode. And remember, don't let anything or anyone affect your peace. Good vibes and stay uncommon.